What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mama Knows Best, episode 39. And this is already my second favorite episode, probably my favorite episode that we ever did. As you notice, there is no mama. I'm so glad. Like I told you, I'm so sick of modern women. I'm sick of Michelle Obama. I'm sick of Mama. I'm sick of Gayle King. I'm sick of all modern women across the board. I'm even sick of Destiny. I don't care if she hears it either. I'm puffing my chest out, okay? I'm sick of Destiny. I'm sick of Mama. I'm sick of Gayle King. I'm sick of all modern women. And I have another episode where Mama not even on the episode. This is like the best thing that ever happens. I got twin coming up here. And then I got my favorite cousin. I got 1,000 cousins. I got 1,000 people around me. But I got my favorite big cousin coming on Mama Knows Best. So can it get any better? Twin, big cuz, and no mama? Now that big cuz though is a modern woman though. So let's bring up twin first before we bring up the other modern woman because she's just like my mama, just a little bit lighter in skin complexion. But let's start off with my brother twin first. Twin, what's the
Twin.
Hey, calm down, nigga. Don't come. Hold up. Don't come back like that. I know it ain't mama, but don't come in here.
Twin in the building.
Hey, Twin, how you feeling, boy? You know I had to get you back on here. The second time my brother been on here, man. You know we're gonna do this movie review based off the thumbnail. Straw. We did a movie. We did another movie review with you when we did Sinners, and that did really good numbers. So excited to have my brother back on, but I don't even want to hear from you no more. It's not about you today. It's about my big cuz right here. Okay.
Hey. The modern women, we going a little hard. Your mama's not here. However, the Michelle Obama, you was going kind of hard because without the modern women, you and twin would be lost though. Because you got Destiny over there. You know, I mean,
you know, normally on a lot of other episodes on the previous 37 episodes, 38 episodes, I give the rules and regulations of the podcast. But I'm not gonna do that to my big cuz because there is a such thing as hierarchy, okay? And big cuz Melissa outranks me, so I'm gonna be respectful, okay? Because when I go to Kansas City, I gotta check in with her twin. Just like when people go to Durham, North Carolina, they gotta check in with you, twin. So I'm gonna be very, very respectful on the podcast. So as a matter of fact, cuz I'm not gonna give you the rules and regulations. I'm gonna give that nigga the rules and regulations. So twin, when my big cousin is talking, okay, but she making a point, you don't cut her off, you don't interrupt her, you wait and you spoke when spoken to. And I'm gonna give you the hierarchy of this podcast, twin. It goes Melissa, because Melissa, it goes C-Mac, it goes Mama in the Spirit, then you, twin. Do you understand the rules and regulations, twin?
Hey, bro.
We had a whole series.
In absence of your mama,
I don't know.
Hold on, you breaking rule number one. You don't hear big cuz. You heard her talking. You fall back, nigga. You let big cuz talk. Go ahead, big cuz. I don't know what's going on with him.
I fall back.
My bad, twin. I think I kind of interrupted you, but we see who's Alicia's son because he's excited she's not here. Yet the energy is on the screen. The energy is here. It's
there.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying the apple don't fall far because he's just kicking in like, hey, and then his favorite word is nigga. I ain't heard the nigga say nigga this many times in the whole time I know the nigga.
It just does something to me. It does something to me. But let's get into the podcast. We can joke around for 40 minutes, but obviously based on the thumbnail, the title, y'all know we're talking about today. We're talking about Straw. Great production done by Tyler Perry. So I'm gonna start off with you because what stuck with you most from the movie Straw?
As a single mother, I'm a single mother. I have one kid, your cousin, and I've seen that applied very much. The order of events, maybe not to that extreme, but just the seeming like you can't get out. The moment you think you see the top, is something else that happens, and it just starts compounding to where it feels like you literally drowning, and you can't see it out. So that kind of stuck with me the most. Just seeing that real struggle that she was going through. It's a reality for so many women of all colors, ages, across the United States. It's a struggle. So I think that was the part that struck me like, wow, she really was going through that.
Yeah, that's powerful, and I love your perspective. Like I said, you automatically relate to really, I guess, the bigger part of the movie, just being a single mother, being able to have to hustle, handle different things. Obviously, there's a village behind you, but you were one of those A+ mothers, and if you're an A+ mother, it comes with a lot of A+ efforts. So you definitely are the most qualified person to talk about it. But Twin, I want to toss it to you, man. What stood out to you most from the movie?
Man, so like what Big Cuz was saying, man, I was a child raised by a single mother. So for me, I understood on the opposite end, looking at it. For me, it just made me feel grateful. Like, man, I wasn't raised in those type of predicaments, but just thinking about all the things that a single mother has to go through. You trying to raise your child, you trying to pay bills, you trying to make sure you got your stuff going on at work. You might have to deal with people who's pissing you off at work too. And I feel like a lot of times stuff like that kind of goes unnoticed. So for me, it was just like really taking that value and appreciation of like, man, like just what motherhood is, like what it means to be a mother outside of just raising your child, but really supporting your child, supporting your life, anchoring the household, being a Mr. Mom, like I like to say, playing the dad role in the mom role sometime when you in that single parent household. So overall, like that was kind of like the big theme I really took away from it, just like the importance of motherhood and of course like mental health. I know we're gonna dive into it a little bit more, but we saw that the more and more things that she tried to take on, the more her mental health began to suffer. And there was people around her like, hey, like, I'm concerned about you. And in our Black communities, we don't do a lot of checking in on each other sometimes. Like mental health is a thing I feel like we push to the side, like, man, I'm good, man. I got it. God got me, which he does. But at the same time, like you do need to really check in on your own mental health and see how you doing and see how you feeling sometimes. So those are my two big takeaways for sure.
Yeah, man, I hate these type of questions, even though I'm the one who came up with the question, because it's so many different takeaways, and it's such a great movie, so it's layered, right? And one dope thing that we all share between the three of us is we're all layered people. When I talk to you guys, both, the conversations easily go an hour, just because no matter what topic we're talking about, it goes 9-10 layers deep, right? But I think the biggest thing that stood out to me was kind of on the similar, point that you're making, Twin, is just appreciating my mother, parents. So I grew up in a 2-parent household, so I didn't grow up in a single parent household, but I appreciate my parents for what they did. And then, if people don't know, watching a podcast, like I lost my brother who was 7 years old in a car accident, right? And so, that was a very traumatic event for my family, for my parents, to lose someone that they love so much, right, at a young age, right? And so for them to be able to continue to provide a life for me, to continue to go forward in their life and not be put in that kind of trance, right, that Taraji's character was in, right, the mother was in, and had to press forward. It just was amazing. It just shows you that. And I know, Coach, you can go out to me and speak on it, but just that innate ability that great parents have, that during trauma they're still able to press forward, right? And obviously Taraji wasn't able to, but like there were so many times that she was pressing forward, and just the breaking point was after she lost her daughter. Just I can't do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
you gotta go into autopilot. I feel like you just, and she stayed in autopilot even after the child was gone. She was going through the actions. When it starts running it back, it shows when she was dropping the kid off at school, wasn't no kid to drop off. And people were looking at her like, what is she doing here? Because she was just in mommy mode. Once like basically her life was dedicated and surrounded by just trying to provide for this kid and stay afloat, get her medicine, do what she got to do, and once she snapped, like Twin said, we don't check in on each other. Mental health is taboo. Growing up, especially in my era, it was told to us, well, go on in this house, stay in this house. So that means you can't go to some therapist and tell all the family's dirty business. You figure it out. You keep going. You can't cry to nobody else because everybody else is trying to figure it out. So you just keep going and going. And nobody really takes the time to check in because it's so taboo. Nobody wants to break down and say, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know how long I can keep this sham up. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm barely holding on. You can't say that because the next person's trying to figure it out too. And so the burden becomes so heavy that if it's unchecked, then that chemical imbalance, that mental health get too far, then you have outcomes like Taraji's character, where you can no longer live in the reality and your mind is starting to make its own reality, alternate reality, just to cope and focus, and there was nobody there. She had no support system to really stop and check in with her.
Yeah, no village, man. It's so real. And Twin, you made you made such a great point, like I said, but just that mental health of checking in, man. And I was talking to you, Big Cuz, earlier today, just even from the man side of thing, and not losing sight of what we're talking about is just as far as just the movie, but even us men have to realize the importance of fellowship and come together. It's in all facets of just like we have to check in on each other, right? So no, that's dope. So going to the second question, our last question. Obviously, I think we all agree that Straw was a really good movie, so I don't want to ask that question. But I think this was just a little bit, for me, I would say it was different than the normal kind of Tyler Perry production. The Medeas, the what is it, Why Did I Get Married, or whatever, that type of, type of energy, or what he's produced in the past. I feel like this is more layered in depth. What made this movie different for you guys, if you even thought that it was different for Tyler Perry? I'll kick it off for you, Twin, first.
Yeah, so at first I was a little hesitant to watch the movie because, like, I feel like the Tyler Perry movies get a certain type of rep now. Like, it's gonna be a single mother, it's gonna be somebody who's struggling. They're going to at some point give their life to God in the movie. It's going to be family oriented. So, like, I feel like he has been following in the same trends. Like, a lot of people, like, look, we sick of seeing black people struggling. We sick of seeing black women being oppressed and all this stuff. So, off of the title and all that alone, I was like, I might be good off of it. But everybody was like, bro, you got to tap it, you got to watch it. It's different. So I think for me, specifically, what made it different was, like, I'm a big fan of, like, psychological thrillers type of thing. And I think immediately you could tell this was a little bit different from your regular Tyler Perry movie because it was serious almost immediately. A lot of Tyler Perry movies start off lighthearted. You got your Medeas and you got your other characters who are kind of silly, playful, whatever. There wasn't a lot of joking in this movie. It was a lot of just serious, just real life. It felt real. It didn't feel like a sitcom or anything like that. It felt real life. And you instantly got connected to Taraji's character. Like, you instantly saw the things she was struggling with. They panned around. You got to see the scenic of her home. You got to see, the issues that her child was going with her medicine, and the medicine was on the table and all these things. So the little themes around the movie, starting it off, immediately pulled the viewer in to let you know, like, this is going to be something that you're not expecting. Obviously, we talk about it. The biggest plot twist at the end when she realized her child actually has passed away, and it just starts playing back how the whole day has went and everything started connecting. Like, I'm saying, like, why is the principal out here looking at her crazy like that? I'm like, oh, she's looking at her sideways. She never had a daughter with her. She never had, her daughter with her throughout the whole day. And it was little things that if you were really watching the movie and you were paying attention to it, you begin to catch that once you saw that whole time lapse of the whole day. So I just think this was a movie that really put the viewer on the edge of their seat, because the whole time you're trying to figure out what is going on with this girl. Like, she just want her child. Everybody don't understand what's going on. Another thing, this is a side note, but that, I ain't gonna lie, I was glad when she turned up on that store clerk. He was pissing me off, bro. I mean, golly, man. Big Cuz, Melissa, I hope you don't ever got to deal with nobody like that in your lifetime, because I was hot. I was standing up at the TV and I was heated.
I concur. Buddy was way out of line. He was pressing her the whole time. And unfortunately, that's how it is. I've seen that happen a lot, where not only do you have the normal stuff like having to pay bills and her card problems and all that other stuff, then you have somebody who doesn't have any empathy. It don't cost nothing to just have a little empathy. Sometimes it could change a person's whole life. So but it's for me. I like your perceptions on it. For me, though, this movie wasn't that far out of Tyler's wheelhouse. And the first movie I think about is Acrimony, another Taraji. For some reason, we getting Taraji as that one that'll clock out. She the auntie that'll glitch and snap out and try to kill her ex-husband and lose her mind behind the loss of her daughter. And not make it like, of the loss of her daughter, it's just Taraji plays that part. And I feel like sometimes Tyler does. There's nothing wrong with doing what works. I understand the logic of it in a business model. You find something that sells, something that works, you sell it, it works. However, every movie is about women struggling. It seems like, it's some type of way where it's so many of them where it's a single mother, to where the women sometimes are kind of, if they don't have a mental health problem, they just kind of dumb. They just kind of go for whatever, low self-esteem, don't set high requirements for themselves. And then, like you said, twin, then they gonna find God during the movie. You're gonna have a couple jokes here and there. So when I first went to watch the movie, I'm thinking, oh, okay, everybody said they was crying. I'm getting older, us modern women, us aunties, we a little more emotional than we were 20 years ago. So I'm thinking, oh man, I'm a boo-hoo. Let me grab my drinks and my tissue and be ready to boo-hoo. And so I got to the end of it and was like, I don't have any tears for this one. Like I felt the empathy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not heartless. I felt the empathy. It was great. It was a good movie. I just feel like it was very much Tyler Perry. It just focused more on, which it didn't focus. It just paid more attention to the mental health part of it in this one, I think. But same exact premise of Black woman trying to make it. And the difference is in this one, she didn't make it. She lost in this one.
Yeah.
Twin, may I rebuttal? May I respond, twin?
Oh, you got, yeah, for sure. You got to.
So I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think the themes of what we see in traditional Tyler Perry movies was the same. What I appreciated a little bit more was the execution was different. Like, this didn't feel like, if I didn't know who produces the movie, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, this is a Tyler Perry movie. Like, I would have thought it was just a Netflix branded movie. And I think that's what I can appreciate in terms of the maturity in his content, like how far it's come from the movies that he was doing. That, once he said he was retiring Madea and kind of put that to the side, we've seen him do more stuff with Netflix and trying to broaden his palette with different types of themes of movies and TV shows that have been doing pretty well on Netflix. So yeah, it was just a quick rebuttal, but I can appreciate fresh approach. The theme is going to be the same. I don't think that's changing anytime soon. But if you're going to keep the same thing, you need to keep your audience entertained. And I think he did a good job with that, because a lot of these movies now, we got movies like Sinners and stuff like that that's really pushing the edge of what a good movie is now. So Madea and Diary of a Mad Black Woman, that's not going to cut it no more. Like, we need to grab people immediately when the movie starts. And I think he did a good job of doing that.
Yeah, I can't disagree with everything. I love what you said, cuz, as far as just, the theme really didn't change, but when you said it perfectly, although the theme was pretty much the same, the execution was different. And I think that's what stood out to me, because like you said, twin, was like, everybody's like, oh, this movie's Tyler Perry movie, and I just see the cover art on it. I'm like, bro, I'm good, bro. Like, I'm good, because it's like, it's the same thing where, he creates. I feel like Tyler Perry is so damaging because it's one, he's always making a Black woman look bad, right? It's the same theme of how can we embarrass and show the Black woman this light, and really, Black women are very are probably the most complex and gifted person on this earth, but he's not showing that. He's just feeding into the lazy narratives of this is a Black woman, and that has angered me, because it's like, you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And then now you're also sowing seeds of division amongst the black family. And then you're showing all of this of like, oh, this is black people. I'm gonna play into stereotypes of the black fatigue. That's a new word on TikTok and everything. The new word, sorry, not word. The black fatigue, like he's portraying that's white people. So not only are you damaging the black woman as far as her image, being divisive within the black family, you're also giving 70% of just America to be like, oh, that's that black people stuff. Look at them black people being black. And
Yeah.
that has been the most frustrating thing with Candace Tyler Perry, you know, and he's profited off of that. He's become a billionaire off of embarrassing black people. If it wasn't for Twin saying, hey, go watch it, I wouldn't have watched it. But I'm glad I watched it because, and I'll say this quickly, is we say this sometimes when I'm in debating the homie. We say it's a walk down. Like, oh, you made a great point, but that point you walked it down. Like you set me up to be like, you got me. Okay. And I think that's what he did really well, that I felt like he finally had a movie that was a walk down. And I was watching it, like, yo, this movie's dope. It's the execution, in your words, Twin, was a lot better. And I was like, oh, she'll get out. You know, I'm thinking she may got killed. She didn't get killed, so that was cool. You know, shout out to Yana Taylor and the rest of the crew because they did a great job acting. So I'm like, yo, it's about to be, you know, over. Everything is good. And then they showed the psychotic breakdown of the entire day. I was like, whoa, okay. Like, I ain't seen this type of Tyler. You know what I'm saying? You kind of, and I know this may not happen, but it was kind of like, did he see a Ryan Coogler and Jordan Peele and be like, these young dudes is walking us down in a whole different way? I gotta step up my game, because that was kind of Ron Coogler-ish. It wasn't it ain't nowhere near as good as Sinners, but it was Ron Coogler-ish, where it's like, where did that come from? You know, and I was impressed by the execution. And yeah, I became emotional at the end. I was just like, man, just thinking about the people that you lose, thinking about my little brother, thinking about the people that you have lost, you know, and it hits people in different ways, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, that was a great walk down. And I have not seen that from Tyler in none of his movies. They all predictable, like y'all broke down. But yeah, I'll let you get the last word on that, cuz.
Yeah, I like and I again, the closest to it that I can relate to it would be the acrimony. You know what I'm saying? Because acrimony went in and out over years, you know what I'm saying, of progression. And he's definitely switching up. You know, when you look at it that way, I looked at it more narrow, pigeonholed, as to where it's the same thing. But you and Twin are absolutely correct. The execution was not your normal Tyler Perry. I don't know if that's because he got so much more access, his own studios, his own, you know what I'm saying? He could do a lot more. He got access to a lot more. So he really did put up and stand behind what he said of stopping the Medea stuff and, you know, doing a little more serious content. Like Twin said earlier, usually, you know, it's going to be some jokes and some funnies in there, you know, in between. And this really wasn't no funnies. Because when he said that, I started thinking like, I don't remember laughing one time. You know what I'm saying? Like it really wasn't. No, it was a really serious grab you from the beginning. And you can always appreciate a movie where you cannot see the ending, because no way did I see the baby was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like until that run back, like you said, walk it down. Like after they walked it down, he ran it back for us. You know, and in the run back, it was not tear jerking, but it did have me sitting there like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh. So I didn't see it. And most of his ends are predictable. She gonna find a good man in the end. If she just believe in God and lean on him, the man gonna save her. Medea know what to tell her what to do. You know, it's normally predictable. This absolutely was not. It that alone made it a good movie in my book. Not being able to predict the end and to be left in awe at the end of a Tyler Perry movie. That was the exception.
Absolutely. Twin, give me your 30-second last, your closing statement.
And my last statement is, as y'all see, man, Twin knows best. Told C-Mac to tap in with Straw. You know, he won't feeling it at first. He came around, and now we having a whole pod on it. So, you know, Twin knows best.
Yeah. Hey, man. I appreciate that, man. But before we get out of here, man, I think we definitely gotta in light in the celebration of a good movie by Tyler Perry. We gotta shout out some dope single mothers. I want to start off with my future mother-in-law, Miss Destiny's mother, Miss Carmen Flowers. Okay, you get on my nerves, but I gotta shout you out. I mean, you know you get on my nerves, but I gotta shout you out. Okay, so you a dope mother. We're gonna shout out Big Cuz Melissa here. We had a shout out. Let's shout out Miss Twin. What's her name? What's mama name? What's mama twin name?
Mama name is Janelle. Mama
Yeah,
twin is Janelle.
Mama Janelle. We gotta shout her out, man. We gotta shout out Miss Glover. My brother Jordan. She was just on here a couple episodes. His mother. And then my boy T Will, his mother. I know I'm missing a whole bunch of other single mothers, but those are single mothers came to my mom first, so don't take it offensive. And if you do take offense, I don't give a dang. This is my show. So thank y'all for coming on. Because I love you, twin. I see you tomorrow.
I love you. It was fun.
All right, bye-bye.